we're gonna go to General Tom Thumb's clothing now, and we're going to make a few suits for him. We have one suit which is very rounded. Maybe I can show this here. But we're going to do another one that's straighter. So you have some options.
Yeah, we're just playing with the
We're
pattern.
playing with it, right.
Because this is the same pattern for his
Wedding
suit.
attire.
So we're just, for Mr. Thumb, you just get one pattern and you have to,
And then you can alter it.
okay. So
right.
that's what we're gonna do.
Maybe what we can do when we have this pattern in the kit is draw a line here as an alternate
Sure, okay.
fold
that's a
line.
good
It would be a
idea.
fold line. Okay, so yes, we're just playing with that. If you haven't made menswear, it can be a little tricky, but we're gonna go through that and just show you what we have here. So for the suit itself, we have back pattern, sleeve pattern, front pattern, and pants. The jacket or the coat the lining is the same as the outside jacket part. And that really is because we're going to fold, at the end, we're going to fold this over. And so the lining will show through here on this lapels. Well, that's the reason behind that. So pants, you're going to cut out 2 on the fold, and then you have something that, let me just neaten this up a little bit. It's cutting a little too quickly, I guess. Okay. So you get 2 pairs, pieces like this. Say, how on earth are these pants? So what you can do is let's just fold them over like this. And so now you have 2 legs, right? Seam in the inside. And then this part is going to meet up here. So when you kind of play with it, then you can see what it's supposed to look like. And what you would do is right sides together, fold, and I'm just going to put a pin in so we can
And there
kind
is,
of
with
see
this
it.
herringbone, there is a right
There's a
side.
right and
There's
yes,
a wrong.
and a wrong. And then on this side, we're going to sew part way up and leave a little opening at the top.
Okay,
Then when those are sewn together, see, it looks more like a pair of pants.
oh, totally.
And then what you have this sewn, and then what you would do is
And these
sew.
are stylish of the time.
Yeah, a little straight.
Slim leg.
And then you just sew up here, and you have a pair of pants. And we'll do the finishing part too. Now there's another pattern that kind of perplexed me at first. I don't know where the sleeves. Oh, here they are, sleeves. And it's this one. This is the jacket, the front part of the jacket. You've got lining and the top part. And so you have to figure out like which is the front, of the opening and the front and the back. These cutouts here are darts. Now you get to this point here, and I had trouble with this. I think I had to ask Michael 4 or 5 times, how do you do this? This is the inside lining. There will be a hole in the lining, like you'll leave an opening rather, and that's how you'll turn it inside out because we're going to sew all around, so we need to get it right side out. You have this. Maybe I can show it this way. Is easier?
That's probably better.
Okay. And so you have to sew the shoulder seams together. Well, so these are the shoulder seams here. See, this right here are the shoulder seams. And then you'll have this thing sticking up like that. And that is going to come together like this. And it's going to form the back of the collar. See, this would lie down like this.
Exactly.
The lining would go over it. And we will
We'll go through
be
that.
doing that.
Yeah, but first we're gonna do the pants, right?
But yes, we are. But you have to just.
You just wanna scare everybody
I
first.
do, because I was.
Because you don't make men's clothes very
I
often.
No, not at all. Okay, so,
I mean, Louise was very clever in how she figured this out.
absolutely. Yes, she was, and it was very perplexing to me to see this kind of thing.
But we figured it out.
We did. Okay, this was just a rough kind of thing to show. But I guess we'll start from the bottom up and make the pants.
Okay, so we will get in the position to do the pants, and we will be right back with you.
We've sewn the middle part, this seam together, this crotch, or the front and the back seam. We're going to just fold this over once, about 1/8 of an inch, and stitch it down. And we're trying to get a good fit on our guy. So we're going to do a few steps, and then we're going to try the pants on him, and then we're going to do the hem and figure that out. So we're going to top stitch this down.
And it doesn't, I think it's okay that the stitches show through, don't you agree?
Yeah, it's so, and also you won't, well, this part you certainly won't see. This part we'll do it a little bit differently, the hem for the pants.
If you hear something that sounds like a monster, that's Annabelle.
She likes to see what's going on once in a while. I'm just gonna kind of go over here.
You're going a little, doing a little cross stitch there to give it some strength.
Yeah, I just went across it, but then you can go over it again, like here.
He is having his pants open in the back, which is because he's a small doll. We don't want to have the front opening.
No, I don't think it could keep it closed.
Looking, yeah, smooth.
Smooth, I was gonna say, yeah. All right, there we go. And then we're gonna just fold this over, and I think we can give him, you can measure this, but it looks about 1/4 inch maybe, or close to it. See it, about close to it. Is this reality TV?
Well, the reality is sometimes we don't put the knots in. I think once with men's clothing, boys' clothing, once you get the technique down, they're fairly easy. I mean,
Yes,
we
and
don't have to deal with flounces and
Right.
swags and lace
and this jacket, I think once you get the idea of the back and the collar, it's easy.
now they're going to get in their kit, they're going to get one pattern, but they will have multiple choices for clothing for Mr. Thumb.
Yes, and we were, as we altered this one, did we say this before? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
we did.
We did. We're gonna fold, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
we've
sorry.
changed
All
that.
right, we did.
It's been a long
It's
day.
been a long day. That's just me. Yeah, there's a lot of sewing we don't make them watch.
Well, this is just such a short segment that we'll be on to the new thing shortly.
Okay, this is, that was just a little thick there. This is a beautiful pattern in this fabric.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah,
And I think it's nice to sew with, isn't it?
yeah. Okay, now, we've gotten to a point where we're going to sew partway up the legs through the crotch, partway down. And we're going to do that because we want to hem this, and we're going to hem it straight across and, make it the easiest way we can.
Well, and that way we
And
can
we're going to
fit
measure.
it.
We want to fit it to him,
Yeah,
yeah.
we don't want to make a mistake on, because it's miniature, so if we're off a quarter of an inch, that's a lot.
It's a mile.
So
yeah.
we'll sew this and then we will come
Come
back
back.
for the next segment.
We've sewn up, like we said we're going to do, across here, across the crotch. And now we want to fit him for the length of the leg. So let's put the
Just to be certain.
back on him.
I mean, I think we know, but we just want to.
Well, yeah, the thing is, we don't want his pants to show like this, right? Or we don't want them dragging. Well, anyway, so we have the,
And the dolls are handmade,
and we have
so they're not.
they're not exact. So we have the crotch right there. So we know
That's
this is
looking good. Mhm.
this is right here. Even put a little, let's see, a little pin in there. Okay. And I just turn up, see where we're happy. This looks pretty good.
Now, should we measure that?
Yes,
So let's measure it, because we think it's a quarter of an inch.
we do. Let's see if it still is. Get my fingers in there. It really is almost perfectly a quarter of an inch.
Okay. So then we're going to put a quarter of an inch hem in there.
Yep. I'm just gonna mark it. Make sure his legs are even.
Because the dolls are not always shocking. They're not always, like people, not always symmetrical.
Okay, I think we got it. Okay, let's take them off. These are so cute, they really are. And then we're going to, what we can do, what would be easy is just to press it right now.
Yeah, I think that'll make it
I
easier
think that'll
for you.
make it easier.
And that'll help make it look better too, as a,
Yeah.
excuse me, enhanced tailoring. Crisp.
Yep.
Nobody likes a sloppy general.
Okay. So, think the way I thought to do this, and you will see a stitch on the other side because we're not folding it over and
No, we don't
I
want
think
that
you would
bulk.
anyway. But just take a little bit here and go in a little bit, or almost halfway in.
Because we have a lot of fibers to pick up.
Yeah.
You know, it is a very fine wool. So you're doing a nice little tiny hemming stitch.
Yeah. I'm I'm sure,
Uh-oh.
not.
You're not gonna get a cupcake today. You made a knot.
I made a knot. Those were good cupcakes, though.
They were. You know, with this pattern, these can be modified to make all kinds of costumes for the general.
What would he have had? What
Well,
other
he would
ones
have had, he portrayed Napoleon, he portrayed all kinds of hysterical characters and historical.
Yeah,
You know, he entertained Queen Victoria,
right.
all the crown heads of Europe. That looks really good,
There we go.
Denise. Yeah, and it's to scale. All right, good job.
Okay.
All right,
So we do
we'll do
the-
the other
the
one.
other
and
one?
We'll come back.
We finish, and then close up these pants, and then we'll figure out what closure we're gonna do.
Okay.
Like a little bead.
We'll be back.
Okay. Okay, we've sewn back, we've done our hem, our pants hem there, and we've sewn the rest of the way here. And be sure to overcast when you do each seam. Then we're going to turn them right side up. This is my little go-to
Oh, yeah,
tool.
aren't they wonderful?
Yeah. I've had this probably 35 years.
Oh, yeah, you can get your money's worth out of those.
Under those. Okay. So I think we'll press them first.
Yeah, because we want a nice,
We want a
sharp
nice sharp crease.
crease.
Okay, there's the front. So, okay. I'm just trying to get it so that it's not, so that the seam is kind of flat.
Looks good.
Okay, I don't want to.
You don't go up too far.
Oh, no, I don't think so. Okay, there we go. And then,
You want to try
oh, we
them
can
on
try it. Yeah, let's try that. Thank you.
Oh my God, it's like they were made for him.
That looks like,
It looks like they were made for him.
okay. We can go over either way. I just usually do this. It's going to cross over a little bit, but it's okay. Okay. So we're going to sew a little bead right here on this side, and then we're going to sew a thread loop on this side. Okay, so let me take these off.
And so the loop is going to be the same loop that we did
The same one is, yes.
for the bride,
It's,
the bridal dress. So they can refer to that video for that.
it's just going to be
A little looser.
a little looser. And I don't see my, oh, you have my scissors. Here we go.
I stole the
You did.
scissors.
But for good cause, okay. Let's see what did.
The nice thing about these dolls, if you make it a little too tight, they'll just
Oh, we
squeeze
just
it in.
squeeze right in, right? They don't mind. So in some ways, they're not forgiving because they're so tiny, but in other ways,
They
they
are.
are.
And we could do, if we wanted to, we could just do some ribbons or tape and create little suspenders too. And that would be really cute.
That would be cute.
So, I mean, feel free, people, to be
Creative.
creative. All right, so we'll get this in and then we'll show him totally outfitted.
Well, we decided to play a little bit and make something a little different for Tom. And we put on a pair of suspenders, which are little satin ribbon with little beads for buttons. And we crossed them in the back. I think that'll help them stay on. Of course, he would have a shirt on underneath this.
Yeah, then it wouldn't slip at all.
It wouldn't slip, no.
But we did this so that they're sewn in place.
They
So
are.
he can come in and out of that easily.
He can, so we'll undo the button here. And then they just slip down.
I think this is going to add a lot to his little wardrobe to have
Yeah, that's adorable.
just to display. And you know, if they buy the trunk, then they have this to put in the trunk or in their own little box or however people want to display him. I think it adds.
It'll be
a lot.
very cute in the trunk, I think, too. Okay, here we go.
So this is not in your directions. We just figured it out, and you know, the whole point of this is to have fun with it and play. So I'm happy with that.
I am too. I think they were 4-inch ribbons, and they're just folded over a bit. And we put little beads for little buttons. Cross and
I think
back,
that's
sew them
really
down.
cute.
Yeah, I think it's.
Hold them up just so
Sure.
that by the, yeah, isn't that cute?
Yeah.
They really are cute. All right, well, we're going to go on to the next phase.
All right. I think next we should make Tom thumb his shirt to go under these nice trousers we just made. And we have just two, fabric pieces that we're going to use and a collar. Now the collar is using a product that maybe some people have used, but I had never used it, and it's called Stitch Witchery. And here's a piece of it.
We've never used it because we use
No.
things like tarlatan and historically accurate piece interfacing.
But he's so tiny, and
Yeah.
we're just gonna,
Yes.
go with it. Now, this is a piece. You get a big enough piece. And it's a little bit rough on one side. It's very smooth on this side. And what we discovered that there's a paper backing which needs to come off. So actually, this is the paper backing that we took off. And we don't know if we're going to use this for something, so we're just going to pretend that the paper is off and we just have the rough part. And the instructions call for sandwiching it between two pieces of fabric. So that's just what you'll do. And then we pressed it quite a few times, I guess. We
For about
tried to
5 seconds a piece.
a piece several times. And this is what we got. And it's
Very nice.
it's very flexible. It's not stiff really, but there's body to this, and that's what we're going to cut our little collar out of.
His original collars are all made out of paper.
Yes.
So this is kind of
it's
a little step up from that, but they're paper.
okay. So that we just want to show you that, and we're going to cut
Now,
this out.
Denise, do you think that because of what we want, should we pin this on, or should we just draw it onto the fabric and then cut it out?
I like your drawing idea.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
I can do it with this.
Let's do that.
This is a put a friction pen, which erases by placing heat on it. So I think we can do that.
Because I think it would be easier than
Than trying to
putting the pinholes
in there.
Because we're not going to be sewing this. This is, when we cut it out, this is it.
It's very delicate.
I have old photos of my ancestors and their starched collars and paper collars.
That's wonderful. And how about cuffs? Did they have
Oh yeah, they had those too. but-
paper? I'm going to turn this around so I can, paper cuffs. Shirt cuffs, I mean.
But they didn't wear those every day. Those were things for photo ops. And
Okay, now I can cut that out.
you really want to use for this little project, we need the little sharp scissors.
Yeah.
Not the,
Well, this is just kind of tiny version of these.
yeah.
Okay. We'll make the magic happen.
Lines
pen
go
is
away.
gone. So this is going to be a little collar that we kind of glue to the
Oh, yeah,
shirt.
that would be
So
very,
it's-
I don't know that we have to glue it. I
No?
think we could
How do we-
just put a thread and on the end and tie it.
Oh, right here? Mm-hmm. Ah.
Let's do that
Well,
instead of
what about a
gluing.
bow tie? Is
Well,
that be in the way? Or,
Well, then the bow tie could go kind of under that and poke out. But I think I just
Mm-hmm.
run a little thread through that and right at the top and just tie it off.
oh, a thread.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you meant like a ribbon that would be tied,
Oh, we could do that too,
but that would be in the way of the bow tie.
but you see what I mean? Where we just do a little run through
Mm-hmm.
there and then we're not messing with glue.
Then how do we get it on and off?
We tie it like a bow.
Okay, that's
That's
what we're
just
saying,
tiny.
that we're not doing. Then I didn't know if you meant tie it off
Welcome
and knot
to-
it and cut it,
Welcome
okay.
to the design
We-
department.
Yeah, this is how
I mean,
we work.
Louise's instructions are that you glue it.
Yes, that's, yes.
We want these to be removable. So I think if we do it my way, which is just to run a thread
Mm-hmm.
through, and then you just tie it simply, and then you can still put the bow tie on
Okay,
without any problem. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're just gonna have to make the shirt and put it
And then
on
put it
and then
on.
see
Mhm.
what
Exactly.
it looks like we
works.
should do. Yeah,
But that really works
it's
cute.
very cute, very cute.
Okay,
Okay.
we will be back.
Well, look at Tom now. I think he looks very dapper. I think he looks adorable. We've made a little shirt for him. It's short sleeve, sleeveless, as the pattern is, but we've changed the pattern just a little bit. We'll show you how we did that.
The
And we-
reason, Denise, we don't have sleeves in it is because his arms are so tiny.
His arms are so tiny, and we have to put a jacket on, and yeah. almost looks like he's wearing sleeves on. Okay, and also I guess we had shown, we were going to thread this through and tie it, but we decided to utilize the thread going through the collar to kind of attach the very top of the shirt and the bow tie all at once. So if you want to change it, you'll have to snip that.
Yeah, and that's easy to do.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's very easy.
I mean, aren't we kind of thinking that they're not going to need, one shirt's going to work with all this
Yes,
outfit?
yes. All of his suits.
All
So,
right, so
okay.
shall we?
Right, and so here we have the shirt. It's just front and a back. Here's the back. And then the two fronts. So we're going to, I'll put this like, no, we're going to sew the shoulder seams. These shoulder seams. Once we have that done, we're going to turn this under. The directions are 1/8 of an inch, and as I do it, I think it goes the way it's going to go. If you wanted to do it 1/4 of an inch, you couldn't. It's so tiny. So it almost shows you how
Yes.
how big to make
It'll
that.
only let you go so far in
Right,
the space.
right. And then we'll do the sides, and then I'll show you what we decided to do about the front part.
So the shoulder seams are 1/8 of an inch?
Yes, that's
Okay.
still our seam allowance here.
Okay. All right, so we'll sew those up, and then we will be back.
We've sewn the shoulders together here. The next thing you do while you have the shirt open like this is to fold the armholes over. It might even be 1/16 of an inch here.
It's just slight.
It's very slight, and of course press after every time. So I've started it here. And you're going around a corner, so you just have to ease it. Take your time and kind of ease it.
And it looks like you overcast the shoulder
Oh, I
seam.
did, yes, overcast, yes.
So you're just going to do it like a tiny running
Tiny
stitch.
little running stitch, yeah. And so you just have to kind of ease this around. Like a little section at a time. So you have to hold it with your other hand.
It'd be almost, you could press it, but I think that
Well,
this is easier to do it just by,
For me, it's just easier to, otherwise you're trying to follow it with the iron. Okay, then I'll press this, and then the next thing is to
do the sides.
do the sides, running stitch, just like the shoulders, overcast. And then we'll be doing the,
neckline.
you know what? No, I did forget, the neck as well.
So we'll do the neck
I
next.
did, yes, the neck. The
The
neck,
neck is the next thing.
the neck is the next thing, and it's just like the armholes.
All right.
Then the sides.
So we'll do that because it's not any different than the armholes.
No.
We'll do that and then we'll be back.
Okay. All right, we've sewn up the side sleeves of the little shirt, and we've folded over the neckline. And the next thing we have to do is do the little plackets in front. And I figured out a different way of doing it, which I think will be cute, and it'll fold over just like that. So on this left, well, it's his left side, we're going to do another little hem, like that false or rolled hem idea that we did before. on this side, and on this side, folding over about an eighth, and then again about an eighth. And then we're going to just whip that closed.
So the fold, the roll, faux roll, they can get that off of the video of Mrs. Thumb.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
And then the last thing will be to just fold this up and do a little running stitch along there.
All right, so we'll sew that,
And it-
and we will come back and show you the finished results.
And when we'll put the collar on, and we'll make a bow. Did we show the bow tie? I don't know.
Yes, but we didn't show them how to make it.
No, not yet, not yet.
We'll do that in the
We'll do
next.
that, okay.
Okay, we'll be back.
So we've completed the shirt now, and I'd like to show you. It's just, the right side, it just goes over the left. And there's enough here to tuck into his pants because they're pretty high-waisted. And while we're on pants, I just wanted to point something out over here. We've already done this, but I just want something that I saw on my own pants. And I was leaving a little room for the shirt, but I thought there was too much room. So I'm just going to open it and show you. This is the edge right here. And I had this loop on, here's a little pointer. I had this loop on this edge here, and it was a little baggy. So what I did was just fold it over. So it's just folded, and I put the loop on this new edge that I just made. And then when
They're nice and snug now.
it fits a little better, and I think it looks a little nicer in the back. I can do this now. See, I think it looks a little neater in the back as well.
His rear end looks very
It's
nice.
just something that when you do it, you'll see kind of what needs adjusting.
Yeah, and everybody's doll is a different, they're handmade, so they're gonna be a little bit different.
Okay, we're going to show you how to make the bow, put it on the collar, show you how we put it on the collar and how we sew this up.
All right.
So we'll be back. We've made this great little bow for Tom here, and we're going to show you how to do it, and then it'll be connected to the collar. So it's a 3-inch piece of double-sided satin bow ribbon, and fold it out in half. Let's add a couple of stitches here. So we have one loop. We're going to make 2 out of it. So I think come in here,
Just doing about 3 stitches,
or 2, yes. So,
depending on,
right, and what is this? Not even 1/4 of an inch, is
Yeah.
it?
No.
Or
I think it's a 1/4.
is it 3/8? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, we'll pull it close like this. Take a little stitch through there. You can do these bows, they're really pretty and really effective, and you would just leave a tail, make the bow, the loops, and then you have a nice little tail hanging off too. Okay, I just have a couple of stitches in there. All right, now we have 2 loops. Here we go, okay. And we want to make 4. So, go in again.
Well, Annabelle certainly has an opinion about this. This is a real snoozer as far as she's concerned.
Yeah. Well, she just had some lunch, so I don't blame her. Okay, so we have one more loop to do. Sorry to be so quiet. I'm just trying to get these. Part of it is trying to see it, right? Black on black. And it's not as easy to do. Okay, here we go. Then we're going to separate out all these little loops and just fiddle and play with it. And I think I have some threads that don't have to be there. I'm going to look at this side.
It's looking good.
It's just gotta work it, huh? I'm going to put a couple of stitches in the middle.
Those are not as easy as people think.
Right. So we pretty much have our bow. Little fuzz up there.
We can get rid of that.
All right. We have a little bow tie. Or it could go this way.
Yeah, whatever
I
way.
don't know, whichever way you want it to go. Tie a little knot in the end of your thread as usual. And I've already just sort of played with this little kind of folded
You
it.
started to shape it.
Yeah, a little bit, right. And I don't think there's a right side or wrong side here, so just whichever you choose. And then on this little top corner, pull through. And then cut yourself a, but we're gonna have to tie this with our fingers, so cut yourself enough so you can
so
tie it.
plenty to
Yeah.
work with.
Let me see. We did this a couple of ways. Let me just, I'm thinking of, we did this quite a few different ways, but this, I think this is what works the best.
This is what works.
This is what we're gonna do.
We gotta get it together.
We got, well, we've tried different things. Okay, so I'm putting his little top part of the shirt together, putting his little collar on. I'll show you in a second. Okay, and then I'm going through his shirt, the top part here.
Gathering both pieces together.
Both pieces and coming through his little collar. I'm gonna do that one more time. Sorry, I'm not sure. I'm still trying to look at it. Okay. And then,
That is the closure now.
yes. And if you want to take the shirt off, you just clip it and
Do it again.
do it again. But it's simple. We're going the thread through one side and then just sewing it together.
And we're not creating any bulk for the,
And, right. let me look at this, which I'm not sure which side I want, but, okay, so then we want to put the bow on. Oh, I think I got brown thread, but that's okay.
Well, it looks black in the
Okay.
camera, so.
We have all sorts of threads here too, waiting to go. Oh,
I'm sorry, people
think
are
it's
not
my
getting to
eyes.
see what we're doing, but
Oh, I'm
when
sorry,
you're working
I
in miniature,
know.
it's hard to,
I know,
But
but
there it
but you
goes.
get the idea, and we're just gonna sew his bow on like that.
darling. And it's all in one, so if
Yeah.
they want to change the tie, and they can just clip it and it will all go perfectly.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so we're coming back with what next?
We will come back. It's time to
Do the vest?
do the vest.
Okay.
Put that over.
We'll do with the vest.
All right.
All right, we'll be back.
All right. We've done put the shoulder seams together, so you can see. Overcast and press them towards the back, the seams. And then on this one, we have an interface lining. And we've been kind of trying to work it out so that, well, we're doing it the easiest way we can, but it's going to make it lie very nicely around here. And then we're going to make the little plackets again, the little shirt fronts,
Or vest fronts.
vest fronts on either side, just sewing down like that. About 1/8 of an inch, but we'll try on and then when we've done the side seams, we'll do the hem. And it's pretty much like the shirt. We just have this extra piece up here to fiddle with.
And it is a little fiddly bit.
It's a little fiddly. Of course, you see you're going around a corner again. I started here, going here because I was trying something out. You can start from one end and keep going. But
And we're using bias,
it's bias.
bias strip,
Strip.
so that should ease in it. So shall we sew this up and then show them what it's gonna look like after we press it out?
Sure, yeah. And then we'll put little beads on it for buttons, I think. Or-
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
All right, we'll
Okay.
sew that and we'll come back.
Okay. We've put the facing around the neck now, and we're going to cut probably the length of it in half, and then fold it over. We were talking about another way you could do it if you sewed it the other way instead of like this, you sewed it from the other way, the wrong sides. And then it could be a little collar.
Yeah, it absolutely could.
And that looked kind of cute too. We're just trying to think of different ways you can do different things with this, and we don't have the face.
But we're doing this based on Louise's
Yes,
way of doing
right,
this.
right. So I'm going to cut this now. Okay. And of course, we thought of this later, so it's easier to cut it before you put it on.
But also that little extra gives you something to
Hold on
when
to,
you're
right.
Sewing, it's sometimes hard when you've got small pieces.
That's-
'Cause
that's
dealing-
true.
We're dealing in miniatures here.
Yes. I don't have miniature hands anymore. Okay, let's see. So we've got something like this. And then we're going to take it like this, folding it kind of right to where the seam is, and then fold it over again.
And then when you kind of whip stitch it in place?
Yes, yes. And so you see this, you'll have this much inside.
Yeah, it's almost gonna make a slight piping look, isn't it?
Mm-hmm,
In the neckline.
Yes. And we'll do that all the way across, and then we'll get to the opening. We'll be going across there like that.
All right, so shall we sew that?
Sure.
Come back and
Okay.
show them the next step?
Okay. We have just finished the interfacing on the vest.
It looks really good, Denise.
Press it down, take tiny stitches, and it doesn't really show too much on the other side, on the outside.
No, but you could have put a rope in there and done like a piping, couldn't you?
Ooh, that would be nice.
We could do on
Oh, that-
another one.
That would have been very nice.
Yeah, we could do that at another time. So what's the next
The
step?
next thing is we're going to close each side. I'm just going to pin it here to show. Close each side there, and then we will turn it up like we've done we did the shirt, we've done other things this way.
So this is going to be an 1/8?
Yes, and then just a running stitch down.
But, I mean, they can fit it to their doll. Maybe they want a longer vest or shorter vest. They can do however they like.
I mean, you could, if
You want to change
you
the
wanted
shape.
to change the shape on the pattern, it could come down
Very pointy.
much, yes. Yeah, fold it over. So then the little, maybe a little, couple little buttons here.
Yeah. And that would be very dinner-like for a dinner. All right, so
So
let's.
we'll do that.
We're almost done with the vest. So we'll get that sewn up and we'll be back.
We're finishing our vest. We're almost through. I've hemmed this bottom part by just turning it up, and I've fit it to your doll first, and see how that it closes over at least 1/8 of an inch. These are about 3/16
The folds.
the folds on either
But it
side.
depends on what size the doll is and the bulk of the,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
You got to fit it.
Right. And then what we're going to do is sew these little seed pearls are going to be the buttons. And let's see. And then we're going to, well, I'm thinking this through. We can sew, I think what we have to do if we put the buttons on is sew them right through, and then if they want to change the vest, you have to clip it again.
And take the buttons
Yes.
off.
Now, we talked about this, and, putting hooks in it, and I think the hooks would just be too bulky. I think the fabric would stick up like this over the hooks.
All right, so we're
So,
gonna
That's
sew it
where we are
on
now.
for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get that done and we'll be back and we'll show you the next step.
Now we're on to the jacket, but just before we get to that, we want to show you how we closed the vest. We had said we're going to sew the whole thing up the front, but that's not very practical, especially when you want to change him into other clothes. So what we sewed the buttons onto this side, the right side of the vest, and then we just tacked it on the bottom and on the top. So then if you want to change it, you just clip the tack. Just clip the thread.
It makes a nice.
Yeah.
Makes a nice smooth closure,
Closure, yeah.
because we don't want to put hooks.
No, they're just
or-
too bulky.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we can see the little indentation where our
little
buttons
buttons,
for the suspenders are, which they're not bad, but imagine hooks would
Hooks
be
would
much.
just, ugh, no.
Well, I think it turned out very nice, Denise.
I think
hope
he's
you-
very handsome.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now we have the jacket. And way in the beginning of this, I was showing this to people because I kind of mocked this up a bit. When you get the patterns, especially this front one, it's got this stuff going on. You think, what the heck is that if you haven't made men's clothing, which I hadn't. So this I've learned also. This actually is the back, the lining piece, but the inside of the jacket. But to show you, when you sew it together, you see all these little things and this tab sticking out, and the directions are to put shoulder seams together. I just wanted to show that these are the shoulder seams right here. This is what this part ends up to be, this part that's sticking out like that. And once you've sewn the shoulders and you put this together, we're going to do it, so you'll see that this part just sews up into this part. And if you just remember to keep this seam going in the same direction that all the other seams are, it'll help, I think. It helped me. But we'll put it together and hopefully it'll make more sense. Okay. This is the back, and it's also the lining. You'll sew an inch up here, an inch here, and there will be an opening. And that's so that we can turn the whole garment right side out.
And Denise, with the construction of this, what was the seam allowance that you?
1/8.
An 1/8, okay. And then you overcast
Yes.
all of it?
Yes, and press. And I guess we can show these little hams are just amazing. You want to press something like this, and it's hard to press flat, and it's curved, and you take your little iron, and these
Yeah,
are great,
yeah,
and they're 3 different sizes here that we've got.
And we have
Anyway,
those. We have those in the boutique. We have a lady that makes those for us.
It helps so much. All right, so here's the front. And there will be a little hole here for the dart. And you'll just kind of fold that up just like this. And sew it around here. Probably somewhere between 1/8 and 1/16 of an inch. It's pretty narrow. And then overcast that. So that's what I've got here. Press to the back.
Okay.
Then the next thing you do, you can put the 2 back pieces together. And then we're going to do the shoulders, put the shoulders together. So I'd like to do this side first. Okay. And
So you're
see.
just putting the shoulders together now?
Yes, shoulders together.
Okay.
Let me see, do you want me to sew that? I'll sew that now.
Why not?
Right. All right.
A lot of the work in menswear is actually very similar to the construction in 18th century ladies' clothes.
Really?
There's a lot of similarities.
Like with sack backs
Oh, yeah.
and that kind of thing?
Where you look at it and think, oh, this can't possibly.
Can't work, right,
Can't work.
right. Okay. So
You did that pretty quick.
there's a shoulder seam, and this is just gonna stick out for now.
And you'll go, why?
I know.
Why?
And we'll do the other side, we would do the other side as well.
Okay, so we'll sew that.
So that as well.
And we'll get this that sewn up and we'll come back.
Oh, okay. We're ready to put in the sleeves now. We've attached the shoulder seams. And when you first, with the sleeve, we're going to do a little basting stitch, a little running stitch. And the stitches are pretty small, so that we just ease the
Get the shape,
fullness and make the shape of the sleeve. If you make the stitches too big, you will gather, and he doesn't have gathered puff sleeves.
You've got to do these small.
Yes, and gather a little, and it makes a little, see how it curves a
Yeah,
little
and
bit.
it's already taking the right shape that we
Right,
want.
Right, okay. So this is the right side.
Yes, and that's really important, that we have to remember there is a right side and a wrong side.
Yes.
Boy, we've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah, we found that out. And I think, I don't know what I think I would just sort of leave this so that I could, if I need a little more pulling,
Exactly.
shaping, that I have it there. Okay, so going to do right side to right side and corner to corner and pin here. And then you can see as we go around
Yeah, it just
this
it just
curve
eaves in
that
beautifully.
it just,
And this is a
it just
technique that you do
it goes
with
perfectly.
for big dolls too.
Right.
And actually you could do this for lady dolls of where you want a sleeve, and say an 1880s sleeve, and you don't want any gathers. That little ease in is a good technique. How's it fitting?
Very, pretty well. Feels pretty good. Okay, so this did its job. Just gonna cut it off.
You can go bye-bye with that.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we could recycle that thread, can't we?
What thread? This one?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's, yep, I'm using it. Okay. So let's see. And you're going to make this basting, this tiny little basting stitch, as close to the top as you can.
And then
Because,
we're going to sew below.
yeah, because we have, the 1/8 of an inch here, and we want to be below that basting.
And they'll get a little unraveling, but it won't. So I don't think it's going to be
No.
anything to worry about.
So to make sure I'm still there, yeah, the seams there, okay.
Well, you know what happens if we make a mistake.
Well, I know very well. We take it out. I'm gonna put my light on again.
Turn your light
My
on.
light on again, there, that helps me. Okay,
And that's Annabelle.
she's keeping us company.
She said, I'm not much for these classes. They're not my...
Well, they're very boring. There's no food. No petting and scratching. I don't want to make sure it's still flat. I'm not sewing very quickly, but I just want to make sure
Well, this
you
is...
got it.
This is what you're going to see with the doll. Is we had a sewer that worked for us very early in her career, and her name was Butterfly Barbara, and her favorite thing to do of all time was setting in sleeves.
Oh,
I thought, oh,
God bless her.
yes, she loved it. It was just,
gosh.
she got such joy out of it. I was like, oh my God.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's funny. And her mama called her Butterfly. I love it. Okay, let's see how we did here.
Let's see, the moment
Let's
of
see,
truth.
the moment of truth is kind of scary. All right, it's in there.
I think
I
it
got a
looks
little thread
good.
there, but it's in there. Yeah.
I think that looks good, Denise. What do you think?
I think so. Not
And then we've
bad.
our little pressing ham, so
We have our
can
little pressing ham.
give that a nice
Yep.
press.
Okay, where is our little, I think maybe, let's see. No, maybe this one.
And now's the time to do this shoulder pressing, because once we sew this up, it's very difficult.
Yeah. See these little things, you just
Yeah, like what?
gotta
What? What's that about? Well, I think that looks good. We'll sew the other one in, and we will be back
All right,
and show them the next step.
all right. Our sleeves are set in. We've done both sides, both sleeves. And this is, I love this way of closing the sleeves and the sides. You can always close the sides and set in the sleeve, but this is a wonderful way of doing it. We're going to fold the front to the back piece and the sleeves over, fold them over, and then we're going to pin and we're going to sew all along this seam. And that'll give the sleeves and the side
One swoop.
all in one swoop. So we'll do that, and then we'll go to this
The
funny
fun part. The fun part.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, we'll get that sewn up,
Okay.
and we will be right back with you.
We've put the sides and sleeve together, and I've done this side, and we're pinning this side in preparation for sewing it. And I just wanted to point out, when you put these together, you always want to, match up the ends, but first get this
The underseam.
under sleeve or underarm seam and pin that together first and then go on. The other thing we're doing is we're going to treat it like we did the trousers. And just so, maybe I can show you here. I started here and sewed here, because then we'll put it on Tom and see where we want to do the cuffs.
Because again,
And
they're
again,
handmade, their arms are not all exactly
Right.
the same.
And it's hard to do it before you seam it because it's flopping all over the place. So I think that's a good way to do it.
All right, we'll sew that,
Okay.
and we will come back and go to the next step.
So just quickly now, we're going to show you how we measured for his sleeves, sleeve length. And I put the jacket on him inside out because you're going to sew, like I did here, along there. So it's for him, and right now it's 1/8 of an inch.
Okay.
And I'm going to sew that and then sew the sleeves back up.
And theirs might be a different measurement, because
It might be.
again, these are all
And
handmade.
plus, we're all trying to figure out where we think it should be, So
I think for a man's
a little on the
jacket,
longer.
you've got it right. But if we wanted to make cuffs, we might have it be a little shorter. But we're not going to do cuffs for this one.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to finish the sleeves, and then we'll get up to this thing here.
That's a wonderful thing that we're all looking forward to.
We're finally to the place of these crazy little tabs. We've put the sleeves in. This is the front, the outside of the jacket. And we're just going to bring them right side to right side. And if you can see that the seam is going to be, the raw seam is going to be in here, the raw edges, just like here, just like here, just like the inside. I didn't know, did it go this way? Did it go? No, right sides together. And then facing here. So let me just put those stitches in. Sorry, I'm moving around, getting my knee. Okay.
Denise, you're gonna be able to go work at a tailor shop now.
I might, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Would that be fun?
Well, I think you could, well, you know, we could all pick up a few. Well, I don't know that there are that many tailoring shops anymore, so I guess that's a dream.
Well, there's one up the street, right?
But do they do tailoring?
Or just women's? I
Probably
don't
just
know.
alterations.
Alterations, yeah. Okay, so I still have a hole here, but we're gonna fix that. I just want to press this.
Okay.
Okay. And now we're going to take it, flip this over. Gotta see where the hole is. There we go.
Now you just sew that.
And you
across.
just sew that across. Just want to make sure I see where it, yeah, there it is.
And that's about a 1/8 seam allowance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to, there's going to be like a little kind of corner here. But just,
You can work that
I mean,
out.
it's there, but just stitch across. And when we turn it over, you'll see how it looks.
And we do this on both the lining and the outer.
Yes. See, this is where that kind of, you can kind of feel it. I'm going to
right.
stitch right here. And some of my seams I had overcast because I was just going on autopilot with this jacket, and you don't have to because they're going to be inside, and we don't have to do the
to do overcasting.
extra work. Except for one part that Michael did, and we'll show you his work. I'll show you what he
I
did.
did. I actually worked. They let me do something.
Once in a while. I hope this is going to help because this was kind of a, I mean, this was real men's tailoring 101 probably, huh? When,
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
this
collar
is,
like
Yeah,
this.
this is fairly simplistic, but it's small. But you've made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of doll dresses and most people do, but they don't do
Men's.
men's.
Right. I have a little thread coming through here because it's a little wet. And then, well, this is the outside of the collar in the back. And this will be inside.
And then we press that out pretty good.
Right, press that out.
All right, so we're gonna then do the same thing to the inner,
The inner,
and then we will
put them together.
put them together and we'll be back.
Okay, now we're going to put the jacket together. We have the outside part and we have the lining. And with right sides together, here we go, we're going to put it together. So we have these sleeves, right? But we need to put them inside here. The lining has no sleeves, it's just this.
Because it would be too bulky for this
It'd be
little.
too bulky. Okay. And in order to kind of neaten up this little armhole, we decided to overcast, and that's what Michael did.
And
So we got to show
and
him,
it's
Michael.
beautiful.
And it's really nice. Yeah, thank you.
It's beautiful, if I do say so
But I
myself.
think it makes it neat, a little bit neater there.
But I was afraid because you were here. And
Because I
thought
was
if
here, well, you're
wasn't-
always watching me.
If I'm not doing it right, I'll get in trouble.
You have to undo it then.
No strawberry cake for me.
Okay, so you start somewhere. We're going to sew all the way around, and then remember with this hole in the lining, we're going to bring this all right side out. So
So it needs to be pretty tight.
it needs to be tight, yeah.
And what seam allowance are we going to use?
Still an 1/8.
Still an 1/8.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to sew this, and it'll be magic, and we'll be back.
Okay. Now we're going to turn the jacket right side out, and I guess this is the moment of truth. I'm
Well,
not
it'll
sure.
either will work or
It will or it won't. Huh?
we'll go in the
Whoops.
back and cry.
Oh, I didn't do some, oh, here, I know. Let's see. Let me get, I don't know if maybe I can do some of this by
I think you can.
Yeah, I think I can. I don't think I need to do, maybe the sleeves, but we'll see. But it is all coming through this hole in the back. I think the sleeves are in here somewhere.
And we have our little
think-
trusty
Little,
tool here that we can
Yeah.
use too when we get to the point of needing to press it out.
oh, it wasn't there, so that was my, yeah, and we'll kind of, oh, here it is. We'll kind of poke in those corners too.
With our little spudger.
Spudger. Oh, this, okay, the sleeves just pop.
They just
see.
came on out.
Well,
There they are.
oh,
There we go. So we've got it turned, it looks good now. You're using the spudger to kind of go over the seams.
right, and my little clamp. And form the little lapel here.
Oh yeah, that's cute. We're using a clamp. Where this is really going to take shape is when we press it.
Yes.
So we'll continue with this and we'll come back for the pressing. So now we're at the important part, Denise. I think
Right,
this is
to
the
press it
most
all
important.
out. And I'm just fiddling with this seam so I can try to, I can feel. Right. And then if, you know, if you feel you need to, because we still have the hole back there, we haven't sewn that up.
That's sharp.
And
You misted it.
I misted it. This is not a steam here. So that's pretty crisp. I want to try not to have, you know, this inner,
overlay.
yeah.
Well, then we just
We
go
just
back
have
and
to
do
go
it
back and,
the roll.
yeah, it does roll.
But we will iron this until it's
Until it's
perfect.
perfect. Or else we can't have strawberry shortcake.
No strawberry shortcake for you. All right, we'll finish pressing this and then we will come back to do the last little bits. So we're back and Denise has pressed out the jacket. She has closed
The inside,
inside and used
lining.
a little line stitch or how did you close?
I don't know what you would call it.
Like
I
a-
just
yeah.
took a little this
Little
fabric
blind
and then
stitch.
into here, a little this fabric into here.
Okay, and it's beautifully finished. And so the next thing you're going to do are
Little buttons.
little buttons. So
Right.
they're going to get 3 buttons
Oh,
down in the front.
is it going down across this way or across this way?
Well, it can be either way you want because it's 19th century clothes.
Okay,
It's not going to matter.
okay.
But
Let's see.
my buttons are on the right, so if you want to do it on the right, on my jacket,
You're right.
my right. So it'd be his right. Might as well do it that way.
Yeah, let's do it that way.
Don't confuse the people.
We were thinking 3.
Because I'm looking at Tom's, the original Tom Thumb, and he has 3.
Oh, okay.
So we'll do 3.
We'll do 3. And I kind of wanted to mark it here. Oh, it does go kind of in like that. All right.
Yeah, we've got a little curve.
There's a little curve.
The good news is you can just iron that out,
Yeah.
can't you?
Yep.
Okay, we've
Okay.
determined that, and then we're gonna sew
We're going to
these.
sew them on, and they're a little kind of a little elliptical. Well, let's see. Anyway, we're going to sew them sideways like that,
Yeah, because we want
Yeah.
them to look like.
and not up and down. Okay.
So we'll get these sewn on, and then we will come back and show you the final
Final
zhuzhing,
suit,
the
yeah.
final, the end.
I guess we did want to say that if it's a fabric, and this is a very fine wool, but still it's going to fray maybe a little bit more than others. On something like this, you might want to dab it with your a nail polish or whatever it is that
Yeah,
you like to
particularly
use.
like the cuffs, because that's going to be the area
yeah.
that's going to.
They have little things stick out.
Yeah. But the rest
might-
of it, I don't think you really need it.
I
That's just the
didn't
one
feel,
area.
yeah,
Mhm. And maybe the cuffs of the pants leg
the
too.
pant leg.
Yeah.
Well, we finished Mr. Tom Thumb's extra little suit, and I think it came out so beautifully. We had altered the pattern so that it's a little bit straighter here than the other jackets that we have.
We played with it.
We played with it, and I think it came out really well.
I'm thrilled. I think it's just adorable. I mean, it really is cute. And, you know, he is a little guy to have a removable suit.
He does, yes. A couple of stitches here and there. Yeah, I don't know if you could put different buttons. I mean, it depends on the fabric you use. If you don't use this, use something else. Different bow tie, different color. You
Well,
could put a little, maybe you could put a little carnation in his
You
little, I
could,
don't know.
and He's going to have a top hat to go with this.
Yeah.
So that will make it really set the whole thing off.
I can't wait to see that.
So Denise, is this the first male doll you've ever dressed?
Absolutely first.
Wow. Tested by fire. Well,
Well, it was a good pattern. It was,
yeah.
very good pattern.
yeah. So we had a lot of fun.
Yes.
And so in 3 days we made 2 outfits. I think that's pretty good.
We've been here 3 days.
3 days.
Yes.
I mean, we haven't put in like the most longest days.
No. Today was the longest
Today
day.
was the longest. So it was a lot of fun. Well, thank you, Denise.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was fun, and I learned a lot.
Yes, and I will. We will be back, and I hope you enjoy this whole project.
I think they will.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.